Hey, welcome back to Get Up and to the NBA, where mixed reviews continue to come in about that new format from the All-Star game from this past weekend. Biggest issue the players have, and they brought up, involved the number of breaks between the games and the timing of the games just being too short. In fact, one player who voiced his opinion, you saw him there on the weekend, Kevin Durant, took to social media saying, quote, "I think it's more fun to complain about the NBA than to actually watch it. It's crazy. Cancel the All-Star game and let's just give everybody a break since we're so miserable around this time," end quote. Okay, UD, you hear KD, he basically says, you know what, forget about the All-Star game, give the players in the league the whole week off. What do you think?
I got to let you guys know something. As players, we love a little dramatization. That's just KD being a little dramatic right now. I don't think he really means let's cancel the All-Star game. But what I will say is we want to see you guys hoop. It's more fun for everybody to see you guys hoop. And I would like you to take a page out of Ja Morant's book. When Ja Morant tweeted and he said, hey, I'll come out and I'll get in the dunk contest. Mac make me get in the dunk contest. KD's your favorite hooper's favorite hooper. If KD comes out and says, I'm going to compete, I'm going to take an old school mentality in the All-Star game, then I guarantee these young guys will fall in line and these young guys will come out and start hooping. He has that influence and they respect him like that.
Bobby, where you stand on this?
Well, there's part of me wanting to tell Kevin Durant to stay off social media, man. As Coach Saban said, what is it? It's rat poison as far as thinking what people are talking about you. Listen, I understand where Kevin's coming from, and I think he certainly said that tongue-in-cheek, that there's a lot of pressure on these players, or there's a lot of expectations as far as for them to go out and compete like it was the 80s or the 90s, where they're more like looking at this as a celebration. They're looking at this as an exhibition. They're not looking at it like what's going on with Team USA and Canada for hockey. If Kevin's thinking, well, wait a minute, we did that this past summer when we played against France when we were in the Olympics here. So I understand it from Kevin's perspective here, but I do think there is an expectation from the fans, from the people in the media, from just general teams as far as to play better with more effort.
Now, look, not everybody's only offering complaints about the current format. Giannis weighed in on a possible format solution inspired by the four nations and what we're seeing in the NHL. The NBA, he says, considering, let's say, a USA versus a world team format. Take a listen.
I would love that. And for sure, like I'll take pride to that. I always compete, but like I think that will give me a little bit more extra juice. Having like Shea, Jokic, Luka, Wemby, Towns, Şengün, like having all those players going against the best US players, I think it'll be fun.
So with that, I'm going to bring in my man PK, again, who's been hanging around with us all morning here, talking about some hockey. You heard what Giannis says. He says, hey, I think what we should do is, let's say, the world take on the American players in the NBA. Kind of somewhat sort of what are you doing in the NHL? What do you think?
Well, listen, hockey's a different sport from the NBA. You can't compare the cultures because of the way the game is played. You can step on an NBA floor and go through the emotions. You can't do that in hockey. You can't. Like, the culture of our sport, you have to play it with passion. You have to be willing to fight. You have to be willing to leave it on the ice. That's what fans are investing in. So for us, when we charge $1,500 for a ticket to come to Fortnite, fans know what they're getting. Cale Makar, the best defenseman in the world, wasn't in the lineup for this game. This was the most viewed game that we've had in years. And you see it, it's because it's not just based on the skill and talent. It's based on the pride, honor, playing for the guy next to you. I got a question for the NBA players. What the hell are you playing for? What are you playing for? It's not about the money. You make all the money. What, you're injured? Well, there's a difference between being hurt and injured. Are you hurt or are you injured? There's a difference. In hockey, we play hurt. We play injured. That is the culture of the sport. It's always been that way. So you want to talk about the business, the CBA, fans get all of that. But what do fans resonate with? They resonate with what's real. You got to fight sometimes for your country. You got to compete. You got to go out there and leave it on the ice because those people are paying the price of admission. So fans know whether our stars are on the ice or not, they're getting their money's worth. The NBA has that issue that they got to work on. You got to create a better culture for your players. It starts with the leaders. This issue, there was no issue when Jordan was around. There was no issue when Kobe was around. There's no issue when Sidney Crosby's around. There's no issue when Wayne Gretzky was around, because those are true leaders. They lead by example. Sidney Crosby, Hockey Canada, those players, both Canada and U.S., it was the players that did that for the four nations. That's not the league. The league set it up, but the players went out there and decided and said, you know what, boys? We're all in. When is the NBA going to do that? Because, I haven't sat down and watched the NBA consistently since Kobe. Since Kobe has died, I have not sat down and watched the NBA consistently. I love basketball, love the players. I think LeBron's great. I think KD's great. Steph Curry, love watching them. But you got to be on the court. You got to be there, and when you're there, you got to go all in. The fans got to feel that they're getting their money's worth. And right now, there's a big difference between what the NHL's doing with those events and what the NBA's doing. Four Nations works because the players are all in. They're all in.
UD, you're a former player, man. Give me your thoughts on what you just heard from PK.
I mean, I would agree. I think the key word that Giannis said is pride, and we got to say that most guys, once they get to All-Star Weekend, they feel like they have nothing to prove. They feel like they've proven enough. This is why I'm an All-Star. But like you said, the mentality of the Michael Jordans, the mentality of the Kobe Bryants, and I said this in the earlier segment, if Kevin Durant comes out and says, I'm going to hoop, I'm going to perform at a high level in the All-Star game, guys will fall in line because he is your favorite hooper's favorite hooper. Guys would not say this, but guys love KD. So many guys pattern their games after KD. And if KD and LeBron James say, hey, you put LeBron aside for me, and I'm going to go at LeBron, and KD says, I'm going to go at LeBron, and Bron says, I'm going to go at KD, guys will fall in line. I love the fact of, hey, let's put Wemby, let's put SGA, let's put Luka, let's put Giannis, let's put all these guys on a different team. Iron sharpens iron, and if the NBA and the USA does not come to play and it's us against the world mentality, then they will get embarrassed.
Hey, Bobby, realistically, can the NBA pull this format off?
I think they can. I don't think you could do it every year. And I think what you can do is you can rotate. It's almost like the Ryder Cup. You kind of rotate on non-Olympic years here. I think the biggest question is, do you have enough stars to comprise a world team? I think the goal is for the NBA is, how do you try to replicate what we saw this past summer in France during the Olympics? Even if you can get a sliver of that during the All-Star weekend here, that's a success, because that this past summer was as good as basketball that we've seen in a long time.
All right, we'll see what happens here. Got to change the culture here, especially when it comes to the All-Star game. All right, coming up.
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.